Hey guys, Michael Foley here with Foley Auto Consulting. Wanted to do a video today on some basic maintenance that you should be doing for your car to make sure you're taking care of it. So really, there's just a few things that you should be doing. Number one, making sure you're washing your car regularly. You want to make sure you're checking your tire pressure, and you want to make sure you're getting your oil changed. So kind of dive into those a little bit more. Washing your car, I recommend washing it once a week, maybe every other week, to really just make sure the paint's being taken care of. Wouldn't really recommend doing it much more than that, especially if you're going through a lot of those drive-through car washes, because it can really beat up on your clear coat. And so want to make sure you're not damaging and getting those swirl marks that you see on a lot of the darker cars. That's what causes that. So really would steer away from that. I really would also go towards a lot more of hand wash. If you can manage doing that, that would be ideal, especially if you're in a place where it snows a lot. And a lot of the places that have the drive-through car washes, everybody picks up the salt from the road, and then it gets into those spinning things, and they actually scratch your paint pretty bad. So really would stay away from doing those, especially if you're in an area where there's snow and a lot of salt on the roads. So as far as the interior, you want to make sure if you have leather, really want to make sure you're taking care of it and treating the leather. You want to make sure that's staying moisturized, that it actually gets really dried out and it's not getting the care that it needs. That's where you get a lot of the stretch marks, and it makes the leather look really old and worn. So if you really clean it and make sure you're putting there's a lot of leather treatment, there's little wipes and little sprays that you can get to put on the leather. It'll keep it looking really nice inside for you for a long time. So I really want to make sure. So on the tire pressure side, when it comes to that, there's some cars that you'll see actually have the little green knobs on the outside, and that means that they're nitrogen filled tires. So not that normal air doesn't contain nitrogen, but all that means is that it's a higher percent of nitrogen, so it's a little less volatile with the changes in temperature outside. So I'm sure you probably noticed that your tire pressure will drop significantly if it gets a lot colder outside. So you want to make sure that you're keeping on that so that your tires aren't wearing weird, and especially if you're going on road trips or traveling at high speeds, you want to make sure your tire pressure is within the safe range. So that's definitely something you want to keep a tabs on. A lot of the modern cars have a place where you can actually just check it directly on your car. You don't have to get out and use the meter anymore. So just kind of cycle through there and make sure that they're okay. So that's one thing you want to make sure you're doing. And then lastly is oil change. It's pretty straightforward, and a lot of the cars have different schedules that you go in at 5,000 mile check, 10,000, 15,000, etc. And they actually do the oil change for you. But if you aren't on a set schedule, you really should be getting your oil changed a couple times a year, depending on how much you're driving, maybe more. But I would definitely recommend doing that, because there's nothing more important than making sure that your engine is properly lubricated, so that it's not gonna, it's not doing bad things to your engine. It's really wearing unnecessarily. So you want to make sure you always have good oil in there. So hopefully that was helpful. Some simple tips to make sure you're taking care of your family member, as I like to call them. So if you want some help going through the car buying process, or some other helpful tips through that car buying process, Foley Auto Consulting, our team here, would love to help out. So feel free to give us a call, or reach out to us on our website, foleyautoconsulting.com, or leave us a comment. Thanks so much.